Speaking at the opening of the 12th biannual conference of the Methodist Church of Ghana in Winneba, in the Central Region, President Akufo-Addo says the pandemic of COVID-19 and the Russian-Ukraine war should be blamed for the woes the Ghanaian economy was going through. The steep depreciation of the cedi, high inflation, and high cost of living and foodstuff have resulted in harsh economic conditions in the country. Though government is seeking help from the International Monetary Fund for a balance of payment support, President Akufo-Addo says homegrown solutions are being considered to mitigate the plight of Ghanaians.
We're determined to bring relief to the Ghanaian people and return the economy back to the high rates of growth that characterized the management of our economy in the 3 years preceding the COVID outbreak in 2020. The approach to the International Monetary Fund is an important step in the short run towards that goal. Other steps will be taken, in particular, to deal with the unacceptable depreciation of the cedi, reining in inflation by bringing down food prices is a major preoccupation of the government. This season's emerging successful harvest will assist us achieve this objective, together with other policies that are being put in place. We will also continue with our program for the expansion and modernization of our educational system to create a 21st century workforce. The systematic reform of our healthcare system to ensure a resilient, robust healthcare delivery system. The realization of the agenda of industrial transformation that holds the key to our future prosperity.
The president wants a collaboration between the church and government to address the many challenges facing the country.
Above all, I continue to have an abiding faith in God to help turn the fortunes of our nation around, together with appropriate policy, determination, and hard work on our part. And I urge all of you gathered here to have that same belief that the fortunes of Ghana under the presidency of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will be restored. I have no doubt that the state and the church will continually find ways to collaborate for the good of Mother Ghana and for the improved welfare of her citizenry, all to the glory of our God and Father in heaven.
On government flagship program, which is the free SHS policy, the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church of Ghana, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo, wants government to engage faith-based organizations who have already established schools in the country. He believes the policy, which is a laudable one, needs more collaboration between government and the churches.
The Methodist Church, as a partner in the provision of quality education, is however concerned about the challenges confronting the system. We humbly, Mr. President, we humbly plead with the government to engage all stakeholders, including the faith-based organizations of which the Methodists are a part, to meet, to address these challenges. We believe that having operated the system for some time, it would not be out of place to call for stakeholders meeting on it to straighten the rough edges, hampering the free SHS.
Well, Jude, the president says he will continue to have abiding faith in God to help save the economy.
I mean, he's a Christian and it's his right to have faith in God. I mean, I saw a funny thing that's on social media that said that it's moved from having the men to having faith in God. But to be fair to the president, he's always said that the battle is the Lord. So we hope that we expect
this one to the Lord will intervene.
The Lord will also intervene in this particular one. But Nana, it was very imperative and very important that the president has admitted that there's a problem and is speaking on the
to
issues.
the matter. Yes, very important.
I mean, it didn't come to me as a surprise because I expected the president to be touching on some of these things. But for me, I mean, listening to the president, it sort of gives the impression that the country is sort of looking forward to this IMF program a lot, and a lot of hopes have been banked on it. Some experts and economists have even called for an expedited approach with regards to how the country is looking at going for the IMF. Some even say different committees should be set and all of that. But now, I mean, aside the IMF or aside governments going to the IMF for a bailout, I believe locally too there are also certain things government should be seen to be doing to address the economic hardship in the country. Right? I mean, the spiraling freight charges, high cost of fuel, high cost of food, all of these things are having a serious toll on the ordinary Ghanaian. So for me, I expect that the government, as a matter of urgency, both monetary policy managers, fiscal policy managers, would, as a matter of urgency, ensure that government begins to move from consumption into production. I mean, it's not feasible. We sort of take a lot of loans from the capital market and we are just pushing it into paying salaries. We are pushing it into servicing older debt and paying emoluments and all of those things and paying very ambitious campaign promises like NAPCO, like teacher trainees and all of those things. But if these monies we get from the capital market are able to be pushed towards productive sectors of the economy, I think to a large extent and in the long term would help in checking some of the problems that is facing the economy.
I mean, these are all
now.
Issues that will come up during the negotiations with the IMF, because clearly they would want to monitor your expenditure vis-a-vis your revenue. But you see, before we go into all that, I mean, I think it's time the government, although very important that the president will make a statement on the economy, because you see, following the MPC increasing the monetary policy rate, boosting some confidence amongst investors, it is important that the president makes a statement so that at least he, as the chief executive of the country, is seen to be doing something about the state of the economy. That also helps to boost investor confidence. But you see, beyond that, we need to move from the rhetoric and show some commitment, demonstrate commitment towards resolving the issues. You see, how many ministries do we have? How many ministers do we have?
Cuts down all of
Cuts down on all of that. You understand? That reduces your expenditure, especially when it comes to emoluments and remunerations.
I mean, I was saying on the other show the other time that you have a hard blood pressure for rhetorics or
clearly.
And clearly an anemia for the deeds. I mean, we recall the finance minister, for example, when he gave a 12 cost-cutting measure approach government was going to use to check the city depreciation and the economic crisis at the time, somewhere in March. A week later, it turned out that he had even given seed money to the construction of the National Cathedral. So these are some of the consumption-driven approaches government is adopting that, for me, and I believe some experts have also had cause to question. So it's unfortunate and that we find ourselves in this situation. Look at our total debt stock, for instance, as a country, and we are still borrowing to still pay old debt. I mean, it's a beggar's belief for me. So we expect that government will begin to walk the talk, like they say it, and ensure that those cost-cutting measures are actually realized.